Imagine waking up every day feeling trapped by expectations that are not your own. You follow the path that others have set for you: family, society, peers, without ever stopping to ask, is this the life I truly want? You're bound by invisible chains, moving along a path carved by others, unable to question or deviate. It is a question that lingers in the mind of many, but few dare to voice. What if I could live life on my own terms? In our world, expectations are imposed on us from the very moment we are born. Our families, friends, schools, and society at large provide a script that tells us what is acceptable, what is desirable, and, ultimately, what success looks like. But what if this script doesn't align with who we truly are? What if we were to live according to our own desires, dreams, and passions, free from the pressure of others' expectations? Throughout history, thinkers have grappled with this very struggle. From ancient philosophers to modern psychologists, the tension between societal expectations and personal freedom has been a central theme in the pursuit of happiness and fulfillment. The questions that linger have always been the same. Why do we feel compelled to meet the demands of others? What holds us back from fully embracing our own path? And most importantly, how can we break free from these invisible chains and live a life that is truly our own? Philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre argued that we are condemned to be free, meaning that we are born without an inherent purpose. It is up to us to create one. Yet, many people refuse this responsibility, choosing instead to conform to the roles assigned to them, fearing judgment or rejection. But in doing so, they sacrifice their authenticity, losing touch with their true desires and passions. The key to unlocking a life of fulfillment is not to live for others, but to embrace your own desires. It's about discovering the courage to step away from the roles society has scripted for you and to begin writing your own story. Today, we are going to explore the profound wisdom behind living for yourself, not for others, and uncover how you can break free from the expectations that bind you. By the end of this journey, you will gain the most powerful realization of all, a realization that can transform the way you see your life forever. Keep watching, for the most liberating truth is yet to come. We've all been there when you feel like you're living a life written by someone else. You follow the paths laid out for you, pursue goals that were never your own, and make decisions based on what others expect from you. But why do we fall into this trap? Why do we often find ourselves in roles that feel foreign, like we're acting in someone else's play? The root of this struggle lies in a psychological conflict that has plagued human beings for centuries: the tension between societal expectations and personal freedom. It's a battle between individuality and conformity, a struggle that starts early in life and shapes the course of our existence. From the moment we're born, society begins to mold us. Parents, teachers, peers, and even strangers constantly influence how we should behave, what's acceptable, and, more importantly, what paths we should follow. Philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre examined this struggle closely. Sartre argued that human beings are condemned to be free. In other words, we are born without inherent meaning or purpose, and it is up to us to create our own. However, this freedom is not always a gift. It comes with responsibility, the responsibility to shape our lives according to our true desires. Unfortunately, most people shy away from this freedom. They take the safer route, conforming to the roles that society has assigned to them. It's a predictable path, one that avoids judgment or rejection, but it often leads to a life that feels empty and unfulfilling. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, introduced the concept of individuation to explain how we become who we truly are. Jung believed that each of us has an inner self, our true identity waiting to emerge. However, the pressures of society often stifle this individuality, forcing us to adopt identities that are shaped by others. When we ignore our true desires and pretend to be something we are not, we experience inner conflict, what Jung called the shadow self. This tension manifests in various forms, including anxiety, dissatisfaction, and even depression. Living for others may bring temporary approval, but it often leads to long-term emptiness. How many times have you hesitated to pursue something you truly love because you feared what others might say? How often have you sacrificed your own happiness to meet the expectations of others? For most people, this is a painful reality, but it is also one they live with every single day. In our evolution, the desire for acceptance was a matter of survival. Rejection meant isolation, and isolation often meant death. Though the stakes are no longer so high, the fear of rejection still lingers. Today, we seek validation not only through our social circles, but also through social media, career choices, and relationships. We constantly measure our worth by how others perceive us, often allowing those perceptions to dictate our actions. But here's the burning question you must ask yourself. Are you truly living, or are you simply performing? Living for others following a script written by someone else has its consequences. It fills your life with regret, a sense of dissatisfaction that doesn't go away, even when everything on the outside seems perfect. Many people, as they near the end of their lives, reflect not on the things they did, but on the things they didn't do, the dreams they abandoned for the sake of others. This doesn't have to be your fate. You have the power to change this. You can choose to break free from the expectations that imprison you. You can start making decisions based on what truly fulfills you, rather than what will please those around you. The first step in this process is recognizing the signs that you are living for others. Do you feel like your decisions are more motivated by fear than desire? Do you struggle with setting boundaries because you fear disappointing others? Do you find yourself constantly justifying your choices to the people around you? These are all signs that you may not be fully living for yourself. Imagine a life where you make choices based on your own happiness, free from the weight of expectations that don't belong to you. Imagine waking up each day excited about your path, no longer trapped by the demands of others. This is not a fantasy, it's entirely possible. And in the next section, we will dive into exactly how you can start reclaiming your life. Rejection, it's one of the most painful human experiences. From a young age, we are conditioned to seek approval, validation, and acceptance. It's ingrained in our very being. But why? Why do we, as human beings, crave the approval of others so desperately? The answer lies in our biology. Our survival, both as individuals and as a species, has always been deeply connected to social acceptance. In ancient times, our survival depended on being part of a tribe. Being ostracized or rejected from the group meant more than just social discomfort. It could mean isolation, vulnerability, and even death. While the stakes have shifted in modern society, the fear of rejection still echoes in our brains. The social exclusion we once feared is no longer a direct threat to our survival, but our brains still perceive it as such. The feelings of loneliness or isolation that accompany rejection triggered the same primal fears they did centuries ago. The psychologist Leon Festinger's social comparison theory further explains this instinct. He argued that humans constantly evaluate themselves by comparing their abilities, opinions, and worth to those of others. The more we compare, the more we seek validation from the people around us, whether consciously or unconsciously. This has never been more true than in today's world, where social media platforms provide an endless stream of comparisons. We measure our success through likes, followers, comments, and the approval of virtual strangers. But there's a dark side to this craving for approval. Seeking external validation is an endless cycle. No matter how much you achieve or how much you gain, the need for approval only grows stronger. It becomes an addiction, a thirst that cannot be quenched. And the more you seek validation from others, the more you lose touch with who you truly are. You begin to define yourself by what others think of you, not by your own beliefs, desires, or aspirations. Take a moment and think. How often do you find yourself acting a certain way just to fit in? How many times have you changed your opinion to match the crowd, or made choices to please others, even when it goes against your own desires? The truth is, most of us live our lives not fully realizing how much we are controlled by the need for approval. But here's the question you must ask yourself. Are you living your life, or are you simply performing to meet the expectations of others? The cost of living to please others is high. It leads to a life filled with regret and a sense of unfulfilled potential. You may look successful on the outside, but inside, you feel empty. It's a painful realization, but one that many people experience often far too late. When asked what they regret the most at the end of their lives, people rarely mention the things they did. They mention the things they didn't do, the risks they didn't take, the dreams they abandoned for the sake of others. What if you stopped seeking external approval? What if you could live without worrying about the judgment of others? Imagine waking up each day feeling free from the constant pressure to perform. Imagine making choices based on what truly brings you happiness, not what will garner praise or approval. This freedom isn't out of reach. It's right there waiting for you to embrace it. In the next section, we will explore the liberating truth that you can begin making choices for yourself, choices that are guided by your own desires and passions, rather than the expectations of others. But first, Ask yourself, are you ready to start living for you? We've all felt it. That gnawing sense that something is missing, even when everything on the outside seems perfect. You have the career, the family, the friends, but inside, there's a void. That emptiness is the result of living for others, of adhering to the script others have written for you, instead of embracing your own desires. Living for others may seem like the path of least resistance. It's easier to conform, to follow the rules, to meet the expectations placed on you. But the cost of this conformity is steep. The truth is, while living for others may bring temporary approval, it often leads to long-term dissatisfaction. You are not truly living. You are simply performing, playing a role that was never yours to begin with. So, how do you know if you're truly living or just going through the motions? Think about the choices you've made in your life. How many of them were guided by your own desires, and how many were shaped by the fear of disappointing others? How often have you compromised your happiness to fit into the mold that society, your family, or your friends have created for you? Ask yourself, when was the last time you did something purely because it felt right for you, without considering what others might think? This inner conflict, the tension between living authentically and conforming to the expectations of others, has profound emotional consequences. It leads to anxiety, dissatisfaction, and a sense of disconnection from who we truly are. The more you live to please others, the more you lose touch with your own identity. It's a painful reality, but one that many people live with every day. We all know the saying, live life with no regrets. But for most people, this is not the reality. Studies show that people on their deathbeds rarely regret the things they did. They regret the things they didn't do, the risks they didn't take, the dreams they abandoned, the paths they never explored, all in the name of meeting others' expectations. The good news is that it's not too late to change. You can begin taking back control of your life and start making decisions based on what truly fulfills you. It starts with acknowledging the truth. Are you living your life, or are you just performing? Imagine a different reality, a life where you make choices based on your own happiness, where your decisions are not influenced by the need for approval. Imagine waking up every morning excited about your path, no longer burdened by the weight of others' expectations. This is not a dream. This is a life that is entirely possible for you to create. The first step in reclaiming your life is recognizing that you have been living for others. Once you make this realization, you can begin to take the steps necessary to break free from the patterns of conformity that have kept you trapped. You have the power to live authentically, to pursue your passions, and to start living the life that is uniquely yours. In the next section, we will dive into how you can begin the process of self-liberation. We'll explore the practical steps you can take to break free from the expectations that have held you back and start living for yourself, not for others. But first, take a moment to reflect. Are you ready to start living for you? The most powerful truth you will encounter on this journey is simple yet profound. You have the power to change your life. No one else can do it for you. You are the one who holds the key to unlocking a life of fulfillment, freedom, and authenticity. So why do so many of us feel trapped? The answer lies in the invisible chains that bind us. These chains are not physical, they are mental, emotional, and societal. From a young age, we are taught what to do, how to behave, and who to be. These expectations become so ingrained that we no longer question them. We accept the roles assigned to us by our families, communities, and the world at large. And in doing so, we lose sight of who we really are and what we truly want. But here's the truth. These chains are not as strong as you think. They are built on old beliefs, outdated expectations, and the fear of judgment. And the most liberating realization is this: you can break them. The first step is recognizing that you have been living according to someone else's script. You may have followed this path out of fear, out of a desire to please others, or simply because it was easier. But now, it's time to take control. You have the power to choose your path. The choice to live authentically is yours, and no one else can make it for you. The moment you realize this, you will feel a shift in internal empowerment that will drive you to start making decisions that align with your true desires. But how do you begin? The first step is to acknowledge the areas of your life where you've been living for others instead of yourself. Is it your career, your relationships, your lifestyle? Take a moment to reflect on these aspects of your life. Ask yourself, how many of my choices have been made to please others? Once you've identified these areas, the next step is to take responsibility. Understand that you are not a passive participant in your own life. You are the creator, the author of your own story. This realization may be unsettling at first, but it is also incredibly liberating. The second step is to start making small changes. Realign your decisions with your own values and desires. Start saying no to things that do not serve you. Set boundaries where they are needed. If you've been living to please others, now is the time to shift that energy toward yourself. This process won't be easy. It will require courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to face discomfort. But with each step you take, you will feel more in control of your life. You will begin to rediscover parts of yourself that you've hidden away for too long. The freedom that comes from living authentically is worth every challenge. It's time to stop waiting for permission. It's time to stop seeking approval from others and start seeking approval from yourself. You are the only one who can determine what's best for you. Once you fully embrace this truth, everything will begin to change. In the next section, we'll explore how societal norms and expectations have shaped our lives and how you can challenge them. You will discover how to stop living according to the conventional path and start creating your own. This journey is just beginning, and the most powerful realization is yet to come. From the moment we enter the world, we are presented with a roadmap, a set of rules that dictates how our lives should unfold. Graduate from school, get a stable job, get married, have children, retire, and so on. These expectations, these milestones, are embedded deeply in the fabric of our society. They form the foundation of what we are told is a successful life. But who decided that this is the only way? Who wrote these rules? The answer, while simple, is often uncomfortable. Society. These social constructs are often presented as the ultimate measure of success. But the truth is, many people live their lives following this script because they have never questioned it. Society presents it as the right way to live, the one path to happiness and fulfillment. But what if this path doesn't align with your true desires? What if the goals and expectations set by others are not what will bring you true fulfillment? Friedrich Nietzsche, one of history's most influential philosophers, called attention to this very issue. He warned against the dangers of conformity, urging us to embrace individuality and to reject the herd mentality. Nietzsche believed that one of the greatest struggles we face as human beings is the fight between conformity and self-overcoming. He warned that living to please others leads to a herd mentality, where we follow the crowd without ever questioning whether the direction we're headed is truly right for us. But what if you dared to break free? What if you chose to create your own meaning and purpose? Nietzsche's concept of the Bermensch, the overman, or supermans, the person who rises above societal norms and fully embraces their individuality. The Bermensch is someone who creates their own values and forges their own path, free from the constraints of societal expectations. Think about it. How many of your decisions are truly yours? How many times have you made choices based on the right path, as dictated by society, rather than by what genuinely aligns with your soul? If the answer is rarely, it's time to challenge this pattern. The truth is, there is no universal definition of success. There is only what aligns with you. What does a successful life look like to you, free from the influence of others' expectations? Maybe success means traveling the world, pursuing a creative passion, or living a peaceful, stress-free life. It might mean something completely different. Whatever it is, it's unique to you, and it's time to embrace it. Forget the societal checklist. Forget the pressure to conform. Reflect on your true desires and values. If no one else's opinion mattered, what would your ideal life look like? In the next section, we will explore how to break free from these societal expectations and redefine success on your own terms. It's time to stop living by a script that doesn't belong to you and start writing your own. The power to reclaim your life is within you. Take the first step toward authenticity today. From childhood, we are conditioned to seek approval. It starts with the simplest gestures, smiles, pats on the back, and words of praise. As children, we quickly learn that good behavior earns approval, while rebellion brings punishment. This system of reward and consequence shapes the way we view ourselves and the world around us. It teaches us that our worth is tied to how others perceive us. But as we grow older, this conditioning doesn't stop. It extends to our careers, relationships, and lifestyle choices. We continuously seek external validation, often without even realizing it. This need for approval becomes so deeply ingrained that it starts to dictate our decisions and actions. We do things not because they align with our true selves, but because they will earn the approval of others. Abraham Maslow, one of the most prominent psychologists of the 20th century, identified this pattern in his hierarchy of needs. At the base of the pyramid are our most basic physiological needs: food, water, shelter. As we ascend the pyramid, our needs become more complex: safety, love, belonging, esteem, and, at the very top, self-actualization. Self-actualization is the realization of our full potential, becoming the person we are capable of being, in alignment with our true self. However, Maslow also pointed out a critical barrier to achieving self-actualization: the need for belonging. Many people get stuck at the levels of love and esteem, unable to break free from the need for acceptance. The desire to belong, to be loved, and to be validated by others holds them back from pursuing their true potential. We fear rejection, and so, we make choices based on what others expect from us, rather than what is authentic to who we are. Living in this way means that we never truly live for ourselves. We live for others, constantly measuring our worth by their standards. We follow paths that lead to temporary validation, but ultimately rob us of the deep satisfaction that comes from living authentically. This is where the real work begins. To live for yourself, you must first recognize the hidden influences shaping your choices. Ask yourself, how much of what I do is motivated by the desire to please others? Is it your career choices, your relationships, your lifestyle? Take a deep look at your life and ask yourself how often you've chosen the safer path, the path that garners approval, over the one that excites your soul. The good news is, it's not too late to break free from these influences. Once you become aware of how much external validation has shaped your life, you can start taking steps towards self-actualization. You can begin to make choices based on what truly resonates with you, not on what others think. You can begin living for yourself, not for others. In the next section, we will explore how to redefine success on your own terms and begin to make decisions that align with your true desires. This is where your journey toward authenticity truly begins. Success, it's a word that carries weight, a measure of how well we've lived our lives. From the moment we're old enough to understand, we're taught what success looks like. Society tells us it's a stable job, a big house, a family, and a retirement plan. But what if that's not your version of success? What if living by society's definition leaves you feeling empty, unfulfilled, and disconnected from your true self? The first step to living authentically is to redefine success. Throw away the old checklist. Forget about what society tells you is important. Think about what would make you feel alive, what would truly bring you happiness and fulfillment. What does success mean to you? For some, success might mean climbing the corporate ladder and achieving financial independence. For others, it might mean pursuing a creative passion or traveling the world. Perhaps success for you means having deep, meaningful relationships, or dedicating your life to a cause that aligns with your values. Whatever it is, it's your definition, and it's okay if it doesn't look like anyone else's. We are often led to believe that success is a one-size-fits-all achievement. Society pushes us toward a predetermined path, urging us to follow the same steps that countless others have taken before us. But the truth is, there is no universal definition of success. There's only what aligns with your soul, your desires, and your purpose. Take the example of Henry David Thoreau, an American philosopher and writer who rejected society's conventional path. Thoreau chose to live a life of simplicity at Walden Pond, turning his back on the materialism and societal pressures of the time. He famously wrote, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined." Thoreau's success was not defined by wealth, status, or conformity. It was defined by his commitment to living authentically and pursuing a life of self-discovery and inner peace. This is the kind of success you need to seek, a success that is measured not by the standards of others, but by your own unique goals, values, and dreams. Imagine a life where you feel fulfilled, where you wake up each day excited to live according to your own definition of success. Imagine the peace that comes with knowing you are living authentically, not based on someone else's script. In the next section, we'll explore how to break free from societal pressures, set your own boundaries, and take the first steps toward living a life true to yourself. It's time to stop following the prescribed path and start forging your own. One of the hardest truths to accept on this journey to authenticity is that not everyone will support you. In fact, some people may even criticize you, distance themselves from you, or question your choices, and that's okay. The truth is, You cannot live your life to please everyone, and trying to do so will only rob you of your happiness. The need to please others is deeply ingrained in human psychology. It's part of our evolutionary makeup. From an early age, we learn that saying yes to others can bring rewards, acceptance, love, and validation. We strive to fit in, to be liked, to avoid conflict. It's natural. But as we grow, we learn that this need for approval can be a trap. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your true desires, you are saying no to yourself. You are making a small compromise that chips away at your authenticity. Over time, these compromises build up, leading to a life that feels inauthentic, unfulfilling, and disconnected from who you truly are. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, offered a powerful perspective on this very issue. He said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." This paradox is at the core of the struggle to live authentically. We often care more about what others think than what we think of ourselves. The opinions of others can control our lives, steering us in directions we never truly wanted to go. But here's the truth. The opinions of others are fleeting. People who criticize you today may forget tomorrow. People who judge you today will not be with you when your life is over. Your life is yours to live, and you are the only one who will live with the consequences of your choices. The harsh reality is that no matter how hard you try, you can't make everyone happy. So, why sacrifice your own peace and happiness just to avoid disappointing others? Living authentically requires the courage to disappoint people. It's not easy, it can be uncomfortable, even painful. But once you start prioritizing yourself, something incredible happens. You attract people and opportunities that align with your true self. The relationships that were built on expectations may fade, but the ones that remain will be stronger, more genuine, and more fulfilling. Living for yourself does not mean being selfish or inconsiderate of others. It means being honest about what truly fulfills you, and living in alignment with your truth. When you make choices based on your authentic self, you begin to inspire others to do the same. Your courage to live authentically can create a ripple effect, encouraging others to break free from the chains of societal expectation and live their own truths. In the next section, we will explore how to set boundaries, say no without guilt, and make decisions that align with your true desires. The discomfort of disappointing others is temporary, but the freedom that comes with living authentically is lasting. Living authentically isn't just about breaking free from societal expectations. It's also about attracting what truly aligns with who you are. When you live for yourself, when you make choices based on your own values, desires, and passions, something incredible happens. The right people, relationships, and opportunities start to gravitate toward you. It's easy to think that living authentically might isolate you. After all, doesn't pursuing your own path mean you will lose people along the way? The reality, however, is quite the opposite. When you begin living for yourself, the people who matter, the ones who truly understand and respect you, will be drawn to you. You will begin to build deeper, more meaningful connections with others who are also authentic and true to themselves. By being true to yourself, you become a magnet for people who share your values and passions. The relationships that were built on false pretenses, on trying to please others or conform to societal norms, may fade. But the relationships that remain will be stronger, more genuine, and more fulfilling. These are the relationships that will support your growth and align with your true self. Living for yourself also means opening yourself up to opportunities that are in alignment with your authentic desires. Think about it. When you're constantly living to meet the expectations of others, you're limiting the possibilities in your life. You may overlook opportunities that don't fit the conventional path, even though they could bring you joy and fulfillment. But when you start living authentically, you begin to see opportunities that truly resonate with who you are. The key to attracting what aligns with you is to stop pretending to be someone you're not. When you stop chasing validation, when you stop trying to be what others expect you to be, you free yourself from the limitations that come with living a life of conformity. In doing so, you open yourself to a world of possibilities. Living authentically doesn't mean being selfish. It means being honest about what fulfills you. When you live in alignment with your truth, you not only create a life that is meaningful and fulfilling for yourself, but you also inspire others to do the same. Your authenticity becomes a beacon that lights the way for others who are ready to break free from the chains of expectation. In the next section, we will dive deeper into the psychological barriers that prevent people from living authentically, and how you can overcome them. It's time to stop living for others and start living for yourself. The life you want is waiting for you. One of the biggest obstacles to living authentically is the fear that holds us back. This fear isn't just about fear of failure, it's about the deep-seated fear of judgment, rejection, and social exclusion. These fears are not just abstract concepts, they are deeply ingrained in our psyche, shaped by years of social conditioning and evolutionary survival instincts. The fear of judgment is a powerful force. From an early age, we are conditioned to care about what others think of us. We want to be liked, to fit in, to belong. The desire for acceptance is not only a psychological need, but also an evolutionary one. In ancient times, being accepted by the group was a matter of survival. Rejection meant isolation, and isolation often meant death. While our world has changed, this primal fear remains. Psychologists have long studied the ways in which we compare ourselves to others. Leon Festinger's social comparison theory suggests that we evaluate our own worth by comparing ourselves to others, constantly seeking validation through these comparisons. This can create a vicious cycle where we measure our value based on the approval of others. And the more we seek this validation, the more we become trapped by it. This cycle can be suffocating. We become so focused on external validation that we lose touch with our true selves. We begin to shape our identities, goals, and decisions based on how we believe others will perceive us, rather than what we truly want. The fear of judgment becomes a barrier to authentic living, preventing us from taking risks, following our passions, and being true to who we are. But the truth is, this fear is a lie. It is an illusion that keeps us in a state of self-doubt and paralysis. The more we care about what others think, the more we trap ourselves in a cycle of conformity. In reality, most of the judgments we fear are fleeting. People who judge us today will likely forget their opinions tomorrow. Their judgments do not define us. What matters is how we define ourselves. So, how do we overcome this fear? The first step is to detach our self-worth from the opinions of others. Understand that external validation will never be enough. No matter how much we seek it, it will always feel empty, because it is not based on our true selves. The only validation that truly matters is self-validation, the ability to accept and love ourselves, regardless of what others think. To break free from the cycle of comparison, we must focus on our own journey. Stop measuring your worth against others. Instead, focus on the progress you are making in your own life. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small, and be kind to yourself when you face setbacks. The road to authenticity is not a competition, it's a personal journey. In the next section, we will explore how to redefine failure and embrace it as part of the process of living authentically. It's time to stop letting fear hold you back and start taking ownership of your life. One of the most powerful realizations you can have on your journey to authenticity is this: failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of it. Too often we are conditioned to fear failure. We view it as a negative outcome, something to be avoided at all costs. But in reality, failure is an essential part of growth. It is a necessary step in the process of living authentically and creating a life that aligns with your true desires. Think about it. Every great thinker, innovator, and leader has faced failure. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he invented the light bulb. Vincent van Gogh, one of the greatest artists of all time, was considered a failure in his lifetime. He sold only a few paintings and was rejected by society. Yet, today, his work is celebrated and admired. These individuals did not let failure define them. They saw failure as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to push forward toward their vision. Failure is a powerful teacher. It provides valuable lessons that success alone cannot offer. Each mistake, each setback, is a chance to refine your path, to adjust your approach, and to gain a deeper understanding of who you are and what you truly want. When you start embracing failure as part of the journey, you free yourself from the fear that holds you back. You no longer see failure as a stop sign. You see it as a stepping stone on the road to your authentic self. Redefining failure is not about ignoring your mistakes or pretending that they don't hurt. It's about changing your perspective. It's about recognizing that failure is not a reflection of your worth, but a natural part of the process of growth. It's about understanding that failure does not make you less than, it makes you more. Every time you stumble and get back up, you become stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true path. This shift in mindset is essential for living authentically. When you stop fearing failure, you start taking risks. You start following your passions, pursuing your dreams, and making choices based on your true desires, rather than on the fear of making a mistake. In the next section, we will explore the importance of solitude in the process of self-discovery. Solitude is not loneliness. It is the space where you can connect with your inner self, reflect on your journey, and find the clarity you need to move forward. Let's dive into how embracing solitude can help you discover your true path. In a world that constantly demands our attention, solitude can feel like a foreign concept. We are always surrounded by noise, whether it's the buzz of our phones, the chatter of social media, or the expectations of those around us. We're taught that busyness is a sign of productivity, that being constantly connected is essential to success. But the truth is, without solitude, we cannot hear our own voice. Without silence, we cannot truly connect with ourselves. Solitude is not loneliness. It is not about being alone in the absence of others. It is about being with yourself in a way that allows you to reflect, to listen to your inner thoughts, and to understand your true desires. Solitude is the space where you can get to know yourself without the influence of external voices. It's in solitude that you can discover who you really are, what you truly want, and what will bring you genuine fulfillment. The importance of solitude is often overlooked, yet it is one of the most powerful tools for self-discovery. When we are constantly surrounded by the opinions and expectations of others, we lose sight of our own truth. We begin to measure our worth based on how we are perceived by others, rather than on what we know to be true for ourselves. Solitude offers the opportunity to reconnect with our inner selves, to strip away the external layers that have been imposed on us, and to listen to our heart. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "He who cannot be alone will never be free." This is a profound statement. Solitude is freedom. It is the space where you can break free from the noise and clutter of daily life and tune into your own thoughts, desires, and ambitions. It is where you can clear the mental fog and gain clarity about what matters most to you. Spending time alone with yourself allows you to reflect on your journey, to process your emotions, and to gain perspective on the choices you've made. It gives you the mental clarity to make decisions that align with your authentic self, free from the influence of others. In the next section, we will discuss the difficult but necessary process of learning to disappoint others. It's a hard truth. In order to live authentically, you must sometimes make decisions that others won't understand or support. But this is an essential step toward reclaiming your life and living on your own terms. One of the hardest lessons on the path to authenticity is learning to disappoint others. It's something that many of us avoid at all costs. We fear the discomfort, the conflict, and the sense of guilt that comes with not meeting someone else's expectations. We have been conditioned to believe that pleasing others is a sign of kindness, a reflection of our worth. But the reality is, living for others will never bring you lasting peace or fulfillment. It will only trap you in a cycle of self-sacrifice. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your truth, you are saying no to yourself. These small compromises, though they may seem insignificant in the moment, add up over time. They erode your sense of self and leave you feeling disconnected from who you really are. The more you sacrifice your own needs to please others, the more you lose touch with your authenticity. You begin to live a life that is not truly yours. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." This paradox lies at the heart of the struggle to live authentically. We often put others' needs before our own, fearing rejection or conflict. We value others' opinions more than our own sense of self-worth. But when you allow this to happen, you are living for others, not for yourself. The hard truth is that you cannot make everyone happy. No matter how hard you try, there will always be someone who is disappointed by your choices, and that's okay. The only person who has to live with the consequences of your decisions is you. Every time you say yes when you really want to say no, you are giving away your power. You are allowing others to dictate your life instead of taking ownership of it yourself. To live authentically, you must learn to disappoint people. This doesn't mean being selfish or callous. It means setting boundaries and prioritizing your own well-being. It means recognizing that your happiness is just as important as anyone else's. Sometimes, saying no to others is the most loving thing you can do for both yourself and them. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, it will feel awkward at times. But over time, you will develop the strength and courage to live by your own values, without seeking permission or validation from others. The relationships that are built on genuine respect for your authenticity will thrive, while the ones based on pleasing others will fade. And that is okay. It's part of the process. In the next section, we'll explore how to set boundaries and take the first bold steps toward creating a life that is truly your own. It's time to stop living in fear of disappointing others and start living in alignment with your true desires. You've learned the importance of living authentically, and you've seen how fear, societal expectations, and the need for approval have kept you from embracing your true path. Now, it's time to take action. It's time to start living for yourself, not for others. But how do you begin? The first step is recognizing where you are living for others instead of yourself. Take a deep look at your life, your career, your relationships, your lifestyle choices. Ask yourself, how many of my decisions have been influenced by the desire to please others? Are you pursuing a career you don't care about, simply because it's expected? Are you staying in relationships that don't serve you, because you're afraid of disappointing others? Are you living a life that looks good on the outside, but feels empty on the inside? Once you've identified these areas, the next step is to take back control. Recognize that your choices are yours to make. You are the creator of your own life, and you have the power to change the course of your journey. It's time to stop living for the approval of others and start living for what makes you happy, fulfilled, and at peace. Setting boundaries is an essential part of this process. If something doesn't align with your values or desires, learn to say no. You don't need to explain or justify your decisions. Your happiness and well-being are valid reasons enough. Saying no can be difficult at first, especially if you're used to pleasing others. But it's a crucial skill for living authentically. Start small. Practice saying no to the things that don't serve you. And as you gain confidence, you'll find it easier to set boundaries and prioritize yourself. Another important step is to start making decisions based on what truly fulfills you, rather than what will gain you approval. This may involve taking risks, pursuing a new career, traveling, or starting a passion project. It may mean letting go of relationships that no longer align with your values. But remember, each choice you make in alignment with your authentic self is a step closer to living the life you've always dreamed of. Living for yourself doesn't mean being selfish or inconsiderate of others. It means being honest about what brings you joy and fulfillment, and having the courage to pursue it. It means living in alignment with your true desires, without fear of judgment or rejection. In the next section, we'll discuss the final and most powerful realization. No one is coming to save you. The moment you stop waiting for permission and start living according to your own truth is the moment everything changes. Let's explore how this realization can free you to live a life that is truly yours. This is the most powerful and liberating realization of all. No one is coming to save you. For so long, we have been waiting for permission, for the right moment, for a sign that it's okay to live authentically. We've been waiting for someone else to give us the green light, to tell us that it's okay to step outside the lines, to follow our own path. But here's the truth. You are the only person who can free yourself. No one else will give you permission to live your life on your terms. No one else will hand you the keys to your freedom. The power to change your life is in your hands, and it always has been. The moment you stop waiting for approval, for validation, for a sign, is the moment you take back control of your destiny. This is where your transformation begins. It's easy to look outside ourselves for the answers. It's easy to blame circumstances, to point the finger at others, or to say, if only things were different, I could live my dream. But the truth is, nothing will change until you take responsibility for your own happiness. You are the creator of your life, the author of your story, and only you can decide how it will unfold. Yes, societal expectations can be overwhelming. Family pressures, career demands, social norms, they all seem to tell us how we should live. But here's the thing. These expectations are only as powerful as we allow them to be. When you begin living for yourself, you will find the courage to face the discomfort, to step into the unknown, and to create a life that truly aligns with your values and desires. This realization is both terrifying and liberating. It means that you are fully responsible for your choices, your happiness, and your future. But it also means you are no longer a prisoner of the life others have envisioned for you. You have the power to choose your own path. And when you start living for yourself, not for others, everything changes. In the next section, we'll explore the concept of radical self-honesty. the key to breaking free from the chains of conformity and creating a life that is true to who you are. This is the final step in reclaiming your life, and it will empower you to make bold decisions that align with your authentic self. One of the most profound and powerful tools you have in your journey toward authenticity is radical self-honesty. It's easy to deceive ourselves, to tell ourselves stories that justify our decisions, to convince ourselves that we're happy or fulfilled when we're not. We tell ourselves that we're living the life we truly want, even when deep down, we know we're not. This kind of self-deception is comfortable. It protects us from the discomfort of facing the truth. But the moment you embrace radical self-honesty, everything changes. Radical self-honesty means taking a hard look at your life, stripping away the layers of excuses and justifications you've built up over the years, and confronting the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. It's about being brutally honest with yourself about who you are, what you want, and what's been holding you back. It means acknowledging the areas where you've been living a life dictated by others' expectations, where you've been sacrificing your own desires to please the people around you. This process can be confronting. It can be painful to admit that you've been living a life that isn't true to yourself. But here's the power of radical self-honesty. When you face the truth, you gain the clarity and power to make real changes. You can no longer hide behind the excuses or the stories you've told yourself. You become free to take ownership of your life and start living authentically. Radical self-honesty also means acknowledging the fears, doubts, and insecurities that have been holding you back. It's easy to convince yourself that you're afraid of failure or rejection, but the truth is often deeper than that. The fear of disappointing others, the fear of being judged, the fear of stepping outside of what's expected. These are the forces that shape our decisions, even when they're not aligned with our true desires. By being honest about these fears, you can start to dismantle them. You can recognize that they are not truths, they are simply stories that you've allowed to define you. When you embrace radical self-honesty, you also embrace the power to change. You are no longer a victim of circumstances or other people's expectations. You become the author of your own story, empowered to make decisions based on what truly matters to you. You stop waiting for someone else to give you permission. You start living for yourself, not for the approval of others. This is the moment when your life truly begins. The moment you stop pretending, stop hiding, and stop living a life that isn't yours. The moment you embrace who you truly are, your true desires, and your authentic self, is the moment you begin to live with purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. In the final section, we will explore how to take the first bold step toward living authentically. It's time to let go of the fears and doubts that have held you back and embrace the life you were always meant to live. The journey to living for yourself is just beginning. The journey you've just embarked on isn't just about learning to live authentically, it's about choosing yourself. The most profound truth in this entire process is that you have the power to choose your path. No one else can define what your life should look like. The decisions you make from this moment forward will shape the rest of your story, and they can be as bold, as free, and as authentic as you dare to make them. You've already taken the first steps by recognizing the external forces that have shaped your life. You've acknowledged the fears, the pressures, and the limitations placed on you by society, family, and even yourself. But now, it's time to make the most important decision of all, to choose a life that is true to you. Living authentically means embracing discomfort. It means stepping outside of the familiar and challenging the expectations that others have imposed on you. It means being brave enough to say no when it doesn't align with your truth, and yes when it does. It means letting go of the need for approval and finding peace in your own choices, regardless of how others may react. The truth is, most people will never break free from the expectations of society. They will continue to live their lives based on the script that was written for them. But you don't have to be one of them. You have the power to choose differently. You have the power to create your own path, to live a life that is aligned with your deepest desires and true values. This journey is not easy, and it's not quick. It will take time, patience, and courage. But every single step you take toward living authentically is a step toward a life of greater fulfillment, joy, and purpose. And with each step, you will become more and more aligned with your true self, the person you were always meant to be. Now, I invite you to take that first bold step. Decide today to stop living for others and start living for yourself. Choose to follow your own path, regardless of where it leads, because it's your journey, and you are the only one who can walk it. The most powerful realization of all is that you have the ability to change your life at any moment. The power to choose is always in your hands. Take a deep breath and remember, this is your life. Choose it, own it, and live it authentically. The journey to authenticity starts now.